quality. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I like propped my phone up in a place where I thought it would look pretty, because I just held it out in front of me and you could only see the blank wall and it looked like I was in prison. So you're gonna have to deal with me being a little bit far away, but I don't know, I kind of like it. Maybe, I don't know. Hello, welcome. So my location is a little bit different. I'm at my mum's because I am babysitting, or cat sitting. Sorry, I'm not babysitting, he's a cat. There he is. Hello. Are you gonna come? No, he's not gonna come and say hello. But it is the 13th of February and obviously it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. So I thought I would do like a little Valentine's reading vlog, and I would begin it today because I've got a couple hours to kill while I'm cat sitting, and I thought I would start. Take a hint, Danny. Why am I holding it up? You cannot even see it. I'm gonna start. Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. I really enjoyed Get Alive Chloe Brown, so I'm excited to continue with this series and meet Danny in more sort of detail. I know she appears in the first book, but like get to know her a bit better. I also have act your age Eve Brown at home, so hopefully if I get through a chunk of this today, I maybe finish it tonight or tomorrow, and then I can start Eve Brown on Valentine's Day, and I can do a little wrap up of like what I thought of this series. Also, while I'm at my mum's, I have access to a projector, which is very exciting because I just remembered that the adaptation of The Hating Game is on Amazon Prime. So I'm gonna have myself a little romance evening with Danny Brown and maybe a film. Very exciting.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help how. Got this sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching. You do. Show me something. Give me more than one thing.
Hello, it feels like it's been centuries since I started this reading vlog, because it kind of has. So I started this vlog on, I think it was February 13th, and I intended it just to be like reading romance like all day on the 13th and then all day on the 14th, and like I intended to finish both Take a Hint, Danny Brown and Act Your Age, Eve Brown in those 2 days, which I think I did. I either finished Eve Brown on the 14th or the 15th, so I did pretty well like reading wise. But then I just like kept watching rom-coms, and I just extended like my sort of romance binge into like a week. So I thought I would just include all of that in here and then do like a wrap up of like the 2 books that I read and also the films that I watched, because why not? So we had The Hating Game, which was really fun actually. I only gave the book 3 stars, I didn't give it 5 like a lot of people did, so I didn't have like high expectations for the film, which I think made me enjoy it a little bit more than some of the other people that I saw had reviewed it on Letterboxd. A lot of people were disappointed. I know some people were angry about the casting of the guy. One Letterboxd review did refer to him as a stock photo, which I get it. Like if you just typed in corporate man into like Google, that's what would come up as like a stock photo. But I thought Lucy Hale was cute, I thought it was charming, I thought the script like was pretty decent. I've watched a lot of trash rom-coms, so I think like it's not at the bottom of the barrel, you know, like I think it was good. Speaking of the bottom of the barrel, me and B went to see Marry Me at the O2, which was exciting. Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez are not a pairing that I ever thought I would see in a rom-com, but you know what, it was so dumb. Jennifer Lopez is basically playing Jennifer Lopez. She's this like international superstar, and she's like planning to like marry this other pop star in like a live concert where they exchange vows and sing their song that they've written together called Marry Me. And then like as she's going on stage, some footage is released of him like kissing another woman, which derails the whole marriage. And then she sees Owen Wilson in the crowd and she's like, "I'll marry you." It's as ridiculous as it sounds, but we had fun. This is the thing, I go and see these movies and I watch silly rom-coms, and like when I tell people about them, I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed it, I had a lot of fun. But if you were to just look at my ratings on Letterboxd, they're all like 2 stars, and I think people think that I don't like rom-coms, but like 2 stars isn't necessarily a bad rating if I had fun. You know, I know it's not good, so I don't really give it any more than 2, but like I had a good time. And speaking of 2 stars, that leads us on to the last film that I watched in my sort of week of romance, which was The Book of Love starring Sam Claflin, which to be honest I only knew about because it was starring Sam Claflin. Annoyingly, it has such a good concept, and I think like a lot of book fans, maybe it is based on a book, but I feel like if it was a romance novel, like BookTube would eat it up. So basically we're following Sam Claflin's character, and I've already forgotten his name and I just watched it, but he writes this sort of like literary novel that doesn't sell very well, and then suddenly it becomes a bestseller in Mexico, and it turns out that the woman that translated his stuffy novel into Spanish has like just added a bunch of sex and like rewritten it and made it like an erotic novel, and like everyone like loves it, so he has to pretend that he's the one that's written it, and they go on this book tour together and they have to write a sequel together, and it's sort of enemies to lovers goodness because he obviously is like really insulted that she's changed his book and all that. And it really had potential. Like I love books, so like a rom-com centered around books and authors, and specifically like erotic romance reading could have been really good. And there were bits where he sort of poo-pooed romance and just like said it was filth, and then she like stuck up for it and was like, no, it's really good, and like was sticking up for like telenovelas and like that sort of drama, and then like the whole finale crux of the film was just a very dramatic silly finale, which I enjoyed. But I just feel like at the end of the day I never need to watch it again. You know, it's not going to be one of those iconic rom-coms that I return to, but I had fun. And so now I should really get on to the meat of this vlog, what I started this entire vlog to talk about in the first place, which was Take a Hint, Danny Brown, and Act Your Age, Eve Brown. Eve Brown. Books 2 and 3 in the Brown Sisters trilogy, and I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown last year, so for this Valentine's Day I wanted to finish up this series, and I have some thoughts that might be not controversial, just like, yeah, not even controversial. There's no beef here, there's no tea. Basically I just preferred Eve Brown. I think she's my favourite of the 3, which isn't an opinion I say a lot. I think usually it's Danny Brown that I think people vibe with the most, because I think this book is probably like the steamiest, but I don't know what it is, I just didn't vibe as much with Danny Brown, and I think it might be the fake dating trope, which I know is sacrilege. I know everyone loves the fake dating trope, but I'm a bit more of an enemies to lovers, which is why this worked a bit more for me, I think. And also I just like the little cozy cottage setting in this book. I also think maybe an issue I have with Danny Brown is that she's quite similar to Chloe. Like I remember reading Chloe Brown, and Chloe sort of suffers with like cutting herself off from romance, and like, you know, being really driven by work, and, you know, not really wanting to entertain the idea of feelings. And Danny's quite similar, like she's very focused on like her PhD and her symposium, and she's like, no time for love because I've been burned before. And I feel like her and Chloe have the exact same arc, whereas Eve is a little bit different. She's not this workaholic, she's sort of a screw up, and she still hasn't found what her calling is, and she's just trying a bunch of stuff out, and when she falls into her sort of rom-com scenario, it's this like stuck-up guy who runs a B&B, and she's just trying to like prove herself initially to her parents and get a job there. And I feel like their relationship develops a lot more naturally than like the fake dating one. And I feel like with Danny there was like less tension. Like I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, I still gave it 3 stars, and like I had a good time, and I still finished it in like a day and a half because they're just so readable and enveloping, these books. But it was so obvious like from the get-go that Danny and Zafir like found each other attractive, and obviously like that's the whole point, it's like building tension of like, yeah, they find each other attractive, but like when are they gonna get together? But I think I much prefer in a rom-com when like 2 characters when they meet don't immediately find each other attractive, and that like builds up more slowly, or it catches them by surprise. And I really liked the bit in Eve Brown, like the first sort of sex scene, because it does just come out of nowhere. They're just sort of having a normal conversation, and like there's some tension, but then something happens to like trigger like a sex I'm being so vague because I don't want to spoil it, but like if you've read it you know what I'm talking about. And I thought that was a much more sort of like, oh, spontaneous, exciting like romance, rather than like the fake dating where like they're already sort of being a couple and they just have to like admit their feelings. I thought that was a much less exciting arc to go on, if that makes sense. So obviously out of the two that I read for this vlog, Eve Brown was my favourite, and I think she might be my favourite out of the entire trilogy. I just think I related to her the most. I'm not like a girl boss like Chloe and Danny, you know, like wanting to do my work all the time and like getting shit done and like closing myself off from like the world and social stuff. I'm much more like Eve, who's just sort of like bumbling along, doesn't really know what she wants to do and doesn't really feel driven and feels like she's letting people down. And things like that, and I don't know, I related to her a lot more. Maybe that's because she's like the youngest one as well, so she has to carve out her own path, you know, after her sisters have already carved out theirs. I related to that sort of like feeling of lack a lot more than I related to like Danny or Chloe. But yeah, I had so much fun with these. I mean, I can't remember the last time that I read 2 nearly 400-page books back to back in like 2-3 days. I always consider myself quite a slow reader because I don't really have a lot of books to talk about when it comes to the end of the month. I'm not like the flashiest on booktube, like reading 20 books a month, but when I am hooked I can get through some pretty chunky books. And even though I didn't love Danny as much as I loved Eve, I still read the book like incredibly quickly, and once I'd started it was like the only thing I wanted to do that day. So like Talia Hibbert, she knows how to grab you, she knows how to write, you know, heroines that feel real and flawed and they just jump off the page, and she has such a conversational, like inviting style that I think I definitely would pick up any other romance that she writes. I'd be very curious to see if she's going to write more with the sisters in this universe, or if like that trilogy means that, you know, it's done and she's going to move on to something completely unrelated. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I think that is it for this romance fest. I think I'm a little bit romanced out now. I'm eyeing up like the dark academia and like thriller books on my shelf because I'm like, give me something dark and cynical and creepy and tense. Editing Anna here, that is completely incorrect. You are not done with romance. You are not going to read a creepy dark academia thriller cynical novel. You're going to read Love and Colour next. That's the next thing on your TBR because that's what you're reading for Briarrose Book Club. So the love train has not left the station. You are still stuck there. You're still going to be reading romance for the foreseeable future, so sorry. But honestly, not mad about it. I'm so excited to get to this and discuss with our book club. So if you haven't read this yet and you would like to, join us. So yeah, if you've read the Brown Sisters trilogy, which I'm sure a lot of you have if you're on booktube and you watch a lot of booktube, please let me know what your favourite book is and why. That's the question of the day. I don't really do questions of the day, but if you feel compelled to comment, do let me know which one of the Brown sisters was your favourite book. I would love to know, and I will see you very soon with another video soon.